Well, boys, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's been a good run. Um, Blew the account today on something incredibly stupid and dumb. Um, you can see, trying to log in, you have no active accounts. So going to TradingView, pulling up the trade that I took. Oh, there's so many emotions in this, man, and it's incredibly frustrating because it's me. Uh, it's not anything statistical. It's just me being emotional, and I think there's a plethora of factors that led into this. Um, but anyways, the trade this morning was out of this 4 hour gap for me. Incredibly clean first 5 minute candle displacement, off market open. The next candle opens up and starts to continue higher. I slap on a long. Stop was below the market open. The market open low after that displacement. We come up, go break even at the internal high, which is this 1 hour buy side liquidity. My target is all time highs. We come up and pretty much edge all time highs, like, and then I get stopped at break even. And that led me to being emotional and just straight up FOMOing into another long here, which, and you can tell it's FOMO because it's over leveraged, first of all, because I couldn't even have a safe stop loss below this low, and I was in over leverage trying to make as much as this initial trade would have made had it ran to all-time highs, and got stopped out. Obviously, a protected stop loss would go below the low here, and this is just a straight up FOMO entry. It's just a straight up FOMO entry. There's a reason that I go break even where I do, and it protected me. You can see first 15-minute candle, incredibly clean displacement. How we don't go take all-time highs after this 15-minute candle is beyond me, but there's a reason I go break even, and it's to protect myself, like I said. We then come up, edge the all-time highs, and reject lower. You can see the 15-minute candle completely wicks out this internal 1 hour high and closes all the way down here. So there's literally no reason for me to be FOMOing in and entering. Break even, like, it's just so bad on so many fronts, dude. It's so bad on so many fronts. But I think the thing that I learned about myself is my sweet spot is having that 4 trade buffer. I scaled up. Obviously, if you're watching this channel, you know 4 straight payouts on one account, and decided to scale up and increase the amount of risk that I was trading with, going from a 4 trade buffer to a 3 trade buffer. And yeah, when you lose that first trade with a 3 trade buffer, it's just tougher on your mental, because you know after losing one trade, you're right up against it in terms of potentially blowing the account. And I think I learned more about myself in terms of I get more emotional whenever I have a smaller 3 trade buffer. Also, it shouldn't get to your head, because it's the money doesn't matter until you withdraw it to your bank account. But also, the losses are $800, $900 compared to $500. Obviously, like I said, I don't know if that had an effect on my psychology a little bit or not, but and then yeah, I think I put a little bit of expectations on myself With this recent success that I've had, and this failure right now doesn't take away from that prior success at all. Um, but I think I got a little bit of expectations. Like I said, increased the amount I was risking per trade in terms of account buffer, which added emotions. Um, and I think the video I just recently put out about making back 2 months of losses, or 2 years of losses in 2 months. It's the most viewed video I've ever had. I don't want to make I don't want to make any excuses for myself, but I think there's just a lot of different factors that have led to a little being emotional in the charts this week. Like a lot of different factors. One of them being I just finished summer classes. I mean, I just finished my spring classes, um, and I'm taking summer classes. They start on June 1st. But I say that to say that, okay, now my days are fully, like, I don't have anything going on after trading. And it's like, okay, trading easily becomes the main thing again, um, in terms of my day to day. You know, as a trader, you want to stay busy in a way outside of the charts and not make trading the main thing, because if you make trading the main thing when you come into the market, you're gonna you're gonna probably force some trades. Um, but like I said, it's just incredibly frustrating because I took one good loss this week, um, and you can see how easily it can snowball. You can see how easily things can snowball if you let if you just let things get out of hand. It can easily snowball in trading. You take one good. I took one good loss on Tuesday. Um, I believe, yeah, it was Tuesday. Took one. It was a decent loss. Nothing crazy about it. And then yesterday on Wednesday, what do? I force a short after there's already an SMT at the lows when the higher time frame structures are bullish. It's okay to take shorts if the opportunity is there, but when there's an SMT at a prominent swing low, when the higher time frames are still bullish at all-time high conditions, and I know there's an SMT there. I know ES already took that low yesterday, and I'm still looking for a short because I just want to take a trade to potentially subconsciously make back the prior loss that I just took. And then today I come in to the market and I take a good trade. I take a good trade, um, and it was a relatively very stress-free trade, because honestly it was a straight move up towards my target. And then what do? We edge it and we come back down, and I get stopped at break even, and I get emotional, because this win would have done so much in terms of getting me pretty much uh, out of the current hole I was in after taking back-to-back losses. I think it would have been like a 1,300 P&L, and that would have, you know, almost ate the losses, like both of the losses from this week. Um, and I see that, and I'm a couple ticks away from hitting take profit here. 8 points away from hitting TP, and then we just completely reject and stop me at break even, and I get emotional, and I see this immediate move back up after I get stopped at break even, and I just slap on along without even really calculating my risk. And it's just emotional, dude. It's just so emotional, and I hate it. 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 Like this is the worst feeling ever. Or the worst feeling ever is breaking your rules, right? And I think it just goes to show, like, trading is going to be a constant. Like, you have to constantly strive to be disciplined, right? And you can't let prior success get get to your head, um, because trading is hard. I've said this multiple times, but trading is hard. It's going to be the hardest thing that you do, um, and it's not to be taken lightly. So, like I said, I think I learned a lot about myself, and I think it's good to reflect and learn about myself. So it's like, okay, in the future, I know forward trade buffer is my sweet spot. Um, and just having this experience going forward and knowing how easily it can be for things to fall back and to turn on its head, right? Um, it can easily be taken away from you just as easily, or just as quick as the success came my way, it can be taken away from me just as quickly. Um, but with that being said, this doesn't make me a bad trader. Like I said, I did a lot. I've done so much good for myself and for my trading over the past 3 to 4 months of having this success. Like I said, I literally made back all the losses, all the expenses that I had made on prop firms over the past 2 years in just a couple months, and it just takes 1 month of you following your rules to really turn things around and make things go good for you. But if you're watching this, man, just realize it's just as important to keep those good habits in place once you have them. Um, and I think all I can do now is just continue to, like I said, continue to learn more about myself, what makes me emotional, and how I can improve in the future. Um, and I know I've already said this, but the most frustrating part about this is that I only took one statistical loss this week. Um, in my opinion, like forcing a trade with an SMT at the low yesterday should not have happened. Um, that's me being a bit emotional, trying to make back the money that I had lost. And then today should be a break-even day. It sucks we didn't deliver here, and it's crazy to me that we don't deliver to all-time highs, that we don't deliver to all-time highs here. But I can't do anything about it after I get stopped at break even, right? It just is what it is. It is what it is. The whole premise of how I trade is literally these higher time frame closes, right? The hourly completely wicks out. Completely wicks out. Completely wicks out that high. 15-minute completely rejects from here. Why am I re-entering? Because I'm emotional, and it was hard for me to take a break-even trade today, and it was just enough for me to go on tilt. You know, if we don't edge all-time highs, let's say we just come here and I get break-even, maybe I don't FOMO. I don't just slap on another long after taking a loss. But this was just enough. Edging my take profit was just enough to get me on tilt today, and it happened. And this happens. It just happens. This is part of it. This is part of it. This is part of it. You're never going to be perfect in trading. Trading is never going to be a straight linear line up. There's going to be dips along the way, but the goal is to make them higher highs and higher lows, right? So what can I do now? I came out of the downtrend, right? This is a good analogy. I came out of the downtrend after years of failing. I'm on the way up, but there's going to be higher highs and higher lows. I put in this initial high, making back a lot of money, finding success. I put in this initial high, and right now I'm here at this higher low. Right now it's a higher low, and I have to make sure that it's a higher low and this sustains, and I mark the low right here and continue to progress along my trading journey. So what does that look like for me? That looks like taking a step back, reflecting, taking note of my emotions right now, and coming back, whether that's tomorrow or maybe I don't even trade tomorrow, coming back next week with a fresh mindset, um, ready to get after it. And this time I will be doing it with 3 accounts I've decided on. Um, so I did all this on 1 account, doing this on 3 accounts, and guess what? The beauty of trading is nothing changes. Nothing changes. Scaling up, literally nothing changes. And it's easy to say right now, but that's the goal. The goal is to make this a higher low, and hopefully in a few months we make this higher high and keep striving, generally up and to the right when you zoom out, but knowing that it's not going to be a straight linear process. And it's just brutal. I'm not gonna lie, it's just brutal seeing price action run to all-time highs right now. Yeah, dude. I don't know what to say. That's all I got. It was a good run while it lasted. I still did a lot of good. And this week was just enough for me to get me on tilt. It was just enough for me to get me on tilt. Another thing I'll just throw in here is that I attempted to start a vlog this week. And maybe that even added fuel to the fire of just wanting to make it a good week. I don't know. I don't know. It's just another thing to think about. A lot going on this week. And it was just, like I said, it was just enough to get me emotional and to break my rules a bit. And guess what happens when you break your rules, guys? Doesn't matter how much success you've been finding. Doesn't matter how good you think you are. When you break your rules and you get emotional, this is what happens. All of a sudden, you can't log into your account because it's blown. So I think it's a good learning lesson. There's a lot more to come in the future. I still have so much I want to accomplish, and but I just got to go back to what got me here. And what got me here was disciplined, was being disciplined and not making any excuses for myself and taking actions for my responsibilities. I've said that so many times. So what am I going to do right now? I'm going to take responsibility for my actions. I think I said that backwards just now, but I'm going to take responsibility for my actions and own up to it, even though it hurts and it sucks and it sucks, right? There's no way around it. This sucks right now. And but all I can do is own up to it and let it fuel me and improve me as a trader in the future. And yeah, I think it's incredibly humbling, but the best part, I want to say the best part, but it's nice to know that it happened because of me and my emotions. It's not a statistical strategy problem, right? You can have the best strategy in the world, but it comes down to you and your actions. So I don't know. I don't want to make this too long, but definitely don't want to hide this from anyone or anything, and hopefully you can use this to help yourself in your own trading. And my whole goal with this is to be as raw and authentic as possible. And this stuff happens to everybody, whether they show it or not. This happens. This happens to everybody. And but like I said, just gonna focus on improving and moving forward, putting one step in front of the other, and making these higher highs and higher lows. So that's the trade recap, market recap. Update for me, man. And needless to say, I was not I was not in flow state this week. I know my name is Flow State Trades, and it's Flow State Trades for a reason, because trading, you're going to find the most success when you're in that flow state and you're not really thinking about anything, and you're just, you're disciplined, you're following your rules with subconsciously, and not letting the emotions get the best of you. And I wasn't that kind of trader this week. Um, so that's gonna do it for me, man. Sucks, but all I can do is move on and improve. So gotta do some reflecting, and this is definitely not the last you'll be seeing of me, and there's a lot more success to come in the future. So with that being said, appreciate you watching, man. If you want to support me, code FST on all your favorite prop firms. All those links will be in the description below, and I would genuinely appreciate it, as we just hit all-time highs. And this chart is delayed, so hit it a few minutes ago, but oh, it sucks, man. So that's gonna do it. Appreciate you watching, man, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out, boys.